LessTests.
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
How did it come to be?
Well, around March, when I was working, basically still in She Codes, we kind of got all the organization online very quickly because everything was digitalized. And I wanted to see what else I can do to help. And I'm very fortunate. I'm in various forums and groups of innovative people in Israel. And there was basically brainstorming. A lot of people wanted to take part. I did a lot of other things to help. And then the matter of testing came up. And pool testing specifically. And apparently I found out that in biology, there's this practice that's been around for many, many years in academia, but has not been implemented in the field, in labs. And that's pool testing, which is basically increasing the number of tests through group testing. And specifically, after that, many places started doing it across the world, but there's a specific way of doing it using math, which is more efficient and quicker. And that's combinatorial pooling. We can get into it if you'd like. But that is basically using an algorithm to do the pooling in a one shot instead of two steps.
Because the problem is, as COVID is more and more common, right? You need to do more and more tests.
Yes.
And at some point you reach such masses of tests.
Exactly.
And there's a risk of collapse. The whole system can collapse, essentially.
So the idea is to test 12 people at a time, and if the COVID test returns positive, then you test them individually?
So basically, that's the basic pooling, and our program actually does it more efficiently. The basic pooling says, let's take groups of 12, and in this one there's low prevalence rate. So in each group of 12, if the entire tube was negative, we can now release 12 people instead of checking individually 12. But then if it's positive, you have to check individually each of these people.
And the problem is in countries like now in Israel, because it's COVID is so common now, the chances of having 12 with zero, it becomes it's better. Lower. It's more efficient when you have low numbers, but when you have high numbers,
when you have high numbers, this is really a problem. You can't really use it. So what our program does is basically each sample, and this already is the case, each sample you put in multiple tubes. And in each of the tubes, it basically exists with other samples.
So 12 become...
you can take the 12 become 24 or 36.
And the 36 become...
But each of them are basically placed in different tubes. So I take the 12 people and I put them, instead of in one tube, in 3 tubes, for instance. So then in each of these tubes, you have but different people. So if you have 12, you still have 12 in the tube, but these 12 in the tube are from these 12 people, and the next tube or from 12 different people, and perhaps one person will be in these 2 tubes, and the third one will be in another tube.
So you increase the chance of a negative person finding a tube where he's totally negative.
Exactly. And then where someone is completely negative, you know he's negative, you checked him 3 times. If someone's positive, he's going to be positive in the 3 different tubes. Now, what's great about it is you don't have to check him again, because you see what tubes were positive, and you know that the only person that his sample was in these 3 tubes is this specific person.
Wow.
Because all the rest of the...
Math.
It's better than sex. Should have seen Eytan now.
You've been doing too much math.